Hey guys, I'm going to be doing a cooking video for you today, and I'm going to be making some chicken enchiladas. This is going to be my adventure for this week. If you watched my New Year's resolutions, I talked about wanting to have more adventures. Well, I'm more of a fair-weathered adventurer, so since it is winter time, I decided that an adventure for me this week would be to cook something I have never cooked before. And on that note, I don't think I have ever even had chicken enchiladas before. If I have, I don't recall it. There is a slight possibility, but I got nothing in my mind about ever eating them before, so I thought this would be my adventure for this week. So stick with me and I'll show you what I'm going to do to make these chicken enchiladas, and I will put the recipe in the description box. The first thing that I'm going to do is to actually bake one of these chicken breasts. I think I just need one. I don't think I may do two. I don't know. I may do two. And then I just store the rest of them in like a quart Ziploc bag that goes in the freezer, and I can have chicken later. So that is where I'm starting. If you don't want to cook your own chicken, just buy one of those pre-roasted chickens and go with that. I've got the oven preheated to 425, so I'm going to make the sauce first. And I'm going to set the cheese aside. This is Colby Jack cheese. The recipe called for just Monterey Jack, but I went with Colby Jack because I like it a lot better. And I'm going to go ahead and make my sauce. My chicken is done and I've already shredded it up, so I'm going to mix some of the cheese with the chicken, and then the other part of the cheese is going to go on top. But I've got 3 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons of flour, and the recipe wants me to make like a roux. It's almost sounding like a bechamel sauce, but a little bit of a roux. And then I've got 2 cups of chicken broth right here. I'm going to add that to the sauce. I've got my pot back there, and then when all that is mixed, I've got it, oh, let me get that down where you can see it. I've got 8 ounces of sour cream, or 1 cup of sour cream, that I will be adding to the sauce. This will be poured over the enchilada. So I'm going to go ahead and start on the sauce, and then I will start prepping for the enchiladas as well, because the sauce takes a little bit of time to make. I've got my Mickey Whisk right here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the burner on about medium heat, I would say. I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of butter in and melt that. I'm actually going to switch to a smaller whisk. This one's going to work, I think, a little bit better when I add the flour. So I'm going to add the flour now. This is 3 tablespoons of flour. Yeah, this whisk is working a little bit better. I like the Mickey whisk, but sometimes you got to have this whisk. And I'm going to cook this for about a minute on medium heat. I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken broth now. And this is 2 cups of chicken broth. And it'll take about, the recipe said 5 to 8 minutes of whisking till it's a smooth and creamy consistency. Or thick and creamy, I should say. It's been about 8 minutes already, and this is what it looks like. Whoop, don't want to dump it out, but it's not very thick, but it's definitely thickened up. So I'm going to go ahead and add the sour cream to it at this point. I'm just going to dump the whole container in. As for 1 cup of sour cream, this is an 8-ounce container, 1 cup. Get all of that out. And at this point, the recipe just said add salt and pepper. It didn't give the amounts of it, so I'm guessing just like a pinch of salt and pepper, but I'm going to mix this in first. Carefully whisk this because it's going to splash if you're not careful. So I'm just adding a little bit of pepper. And I'm going to add a pinch of kosher salt to it. there's my salt. When when the sour cream just kind of melts into it, I'm going to go ahead and take it off of the heat, and I think it will be ready. And then I'm going to start assembling the enchiladas at that point. Oh, I almost forgot. If you want, you can add a can of chilies to this. I'm choosing not to because I don't like them, but this is where you would do it if you wanted to add a can of chilies to spice it up a little bit. I'm turning the heat off, and I'm just going to push this back for now and start assembling the enchiladas. This is my shredded chicken and cheese mixture. So this is about a cup of cheese and 1 chicken breast. I just ended up using 1 chicken breast right there. I've got my tortilla shells. The recipe says you can make 8. 10 came in a pack. We'll see how many I end up with. So I've got a pan back here. I don't know, it's a glass pan, so I don't know if you can see it, but I'm touching it right now. I went ahead and sprayed it down with cooking spray. So this is the size I got. I'm not sure, the recipe didn't say what size to get. So get whatever size that you want, and you can make as many or as little as you want. And so I'm just going to get a spoon and add some of this mixture. So I'm getting this mixture like that. That may be, okay, that's going to be too much right there. Way too much. So about like that. Then I'm just going to roll it up. I probably should have bought larger shells. I'm not sure. So that's what it looks like. I'm going to lay them in the pan behind me, then I'll show you the whole thing. I ended up getting 9 out of the mixture that I had, so I put them seam side down. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and pour the sauce that I made over this. Hope I can do this. I'm left-handed, so I'm trying to do this with my right hand. Not easy. I have to say that honestly looks like way too much sauce, but we shall see. This is what the recipe called for. And now I'm going to add the rest of the cheese on top, and it says bake it 20 to 25 minutes at 425, and it should be good to go. I feel like I need some more cheese. I don't think I have enough. It said 2 cups of cheese, and I bought an 8-ounce block of cheese, not thinking that 8 ounces was a cup. But when you shred the cheese, you look like you've got more, so I think I am short on cheese, but that's okay. Just keep that in mind if you guys make them. Yeah, definitely did not have enough of cheese. I can tell by looking right now, but I have to deal with what I got over here. So I'm going to put those in the oven now, and I'll show you what they look like when I get them out. I just took it out of the oven, and I'm very sad I did not buy enough cheese. That upsets me, but anyway, this is what I ended up with. I still feel like there's too much sauce for this recipe, and I don't know if it's the lack that I had enough cheese or not, but anyway, as you can see, it's still bubbling right now, too hot to eat. But there are the chicken enchiladas, my first time ever to make them. If I enjoy them, I will probably make them again and then tweak the recipe a little bit and definitely buy enough cheese. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye-bye, everybody.